Hey everyone, welcome to Open Hybrid. I'm Rhina, your host of Café con Leche for the next hour, coming to you back from Chari Executive Suite. Inviting you always to get social with us online. Tweet us and follow us on Instagram at BronxNet TV and like us on Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. Of course, while you're there, follow me on Twitter, FB, Instagram, Insta Stories, and LinkedIn at Rhina Valentin. So our first guest is part of Fit Hit, a Krav Maga academy that delivers electric high energy cardio classes with a focus on real life self-defense skills. With the rise of sexual assault and violence against women, Fit Hit offers free women's self-defense seminars where beginners can learn sexual assault data, such as when and where to strike, escape dangerous positions, and more. Here now to explain further is Fit Hit Krav Maga instructor, nutrition specialist, and certified prenatal and postnatal fitness educator, Viktoria Makarova.
Thank you so much for having me. This is great. Perfect.
All right, so we're going to move on. We're going to introduce her. Obviously, I already did, but I also want you guys to know that she's an MMA fighter, right? And for me, that's like a rare thing when it comes to women. But I noticed that it's also been expanding to women. So let's talk about how you became an MMA fighter first.
This was a journey for me that started maybe 10 years ago. But I didn't start with me becoming an MMA fighter. It started with me just understanding that I'm a woman living alone in New York City. And if push comes to shove, what would I do in a very uncomfortable situation? And I have been in a few uncomfortable situations living alone, coming home at night. And I realized that if things happen, how would I react? What would I do? Would I freeze? Would I be able to defend myself if needed? And I started seeking out schools for self-defense for women, and it was kind of hard to find at that time. There was a lot of fitness, kickboxing studios, but which are great. I'm sure they're fantastic and get you in shape, but you don't really learn a skill as is. And I was a little intimidated going into big fancy MMA gyms because I didn't know anything and I was just a beginner. So I finally found Krav Maga Academy. I found it online on a Groupon. I gave it a try because why not? And the first class I took, I just got addicted. And I started coming and coming and coming. And it's funny, I should start by I was a very uncoordinated person. So everything that I had to learn, it was very difficult for me. I didn't know how to throw a punch. I didn't know how to kick. I didn't know how to do anything. And I started it really late. I started at an age, we're not going to disclose my age, but late 20s.
That's so fascinating because I just want to share with our audience how you became the first female to ever fight full contact MMA in Madison Square Garden for somebody who walked in uncoordinated. So you've come a long way.
Because you know what, and I wish it took me a little bit less time to understand that this is a need that every woman, experiences. But I was, I didn't know any better. I didn't know what I needed at that time.
Right.
Yeah, and even though it started with just self-defense and just, hey, I want to know how to protect myself if something bad happened to me, and understanding how much I don't know and understanding how uncoordinated I actually was.
Right.
But I love.
I like that you can laugh at that now, after you've already kicked butt all over the place.
No, which is really good because I feel like I can relate to a lot of women who just step into the gym and they don't really know how to throw a punch or how to do anything. And that's everybody has a starting point.
Right.
And for me, it was more about understanding what it does to my body and how much stronger I'm becoming. And hey, I'm actually learning things and that I can use in real life, not just, let's say, an arena.
Right. So can you break down what Krav Maga is? Even the language, I don't even know what that stands for.
Mm-hmm. So Krav Maga is an Israeli martial art. It originated in Israel. It was adopted by the idea of the army of Israel. And it is really useful because it doesn't take a lot of time to learn. It kind of relies on your basic instincts, on the strength that you already have. You don't need to be the strongest person in the room to actually do damage to a bad guy, to somebody who might be attacking you. So it's, and that's what they use to educate soldiers before they are drafted into war. Obviously, they didn't have years and years and years to develop this proficiency in this art. They only had a few months, and Krav Maga gave them the tools. And we'll call it street fighting because it doesn't really have any rules. It's not like a boxing match where you can grab a chair and smash somebody's face. Right? There's absolutely no rules in Krav Maga, which makes it efficient. So if I'm not allowed to kick somebody in the groin in a boxing match, but on the street, that's what's going to get you out of a bad situation. So it goes. So we did have I did join the Krav Maga Academy studio.
Right.
And I love what it was doing to me. And I love the messaging that it gave us. It's all about empowerment. It's, yes, you don't have to be the strongest, the fastest, the most equipped, or the most coordinated person. Clearly, I wasn't.
Right.
It gave you the tools and the comfortability with what you have in order for you to defend yourself if the need arises. And eventually, I felt in so much love and in so much appreciation for the school. I wanted to try my skills elsewhere. And clearly there's no competition for Krav Maga because that would end very fast. Gouging eyes, smacking the groin, and that's it. So it's not something that you can practice in the arena.
In the groin, people. I don't know if you can hear that. So
that would be a very fast match.
This is obviously up close and personal training.
Yeah, right. You walk around the city.
Yeah.
You walk around the city hoping that you might use it, but you really hope you wouldn't have to use it for that matter.
Right, exactly. So really quickly, because before we run out of time, I wanted to give our audience an idea of what they would experience within the seminar, right? And first of all, is it in person or is it virtual?
So the seminars we offer are in person. It's held in our studio on 26th Street, Midtown West of Manhattan. I would be happy to provide a link. You would come in and you would dedicate an hour, a little bit more than an hour and a half, up to 2 hours, to first being educated of what is really happening, because there's so much violence especially against women, happening in New York City today, and it gets worse and worse. And we look at statistics every week just to see what is happening, and the numbers are staggering. So you will educate, you will see what kind of attacks women are more susceptible to and what kind of attacks you might actually experience. And then we give you the tools on what to look out for, how to strike properly, what points to concentrate on. And we teach you an element of Krav Maga. So, for example, in the seminar, they will learn how to escape some kind of a position.
Right.
So whether it be, if somebody's choking you or grabbing you or whatnot. So they'll focus on that. So whoever's taking that class, you have a very basic knowledge of what to do if something bad was to happen.
Before we go, because we're running out of time, I wanted to know, is there an age range between individuals? Like, first of all, is it an all women's class, and is there like different ages, right? Do you do, I don't know, middle school, teenagers, women, elders? Because it applies to everybody.
So the seminar specifically is geared towards women. So we do invite females to the seminar. Our classes are open to everybody. And the age range doesn't really matter.
But I think what you shared with us was really helpful. I'm sad that we weren't able to get into your motherhood and now incorporating the prenatal and postnatal fitness, but they can find out more about that on the website, right?
Absolutely, yes. We're always available for questions. We do have a website, fithit.com. So if anybody needs to reach out and just ask us questions, there's a lot of things that we offer: nutrition and fitness and self-defense, and there's a lot of aspects that we kind of hit on. So we're open for all.
Okay, you heard that right here on Open.
Oh, that's right.
That's Coach Viktoria Makarova. Woo, I got it right. So Fit Hit Krav Maga instructor. She's a Fit Hit Krav Maga instructor, nutrition specialist, and certified prenatal and postnatal fitness educator. And if you're interested in Fit Hit women's self-defense seminars, you can visit fithit.com. All right, we got to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll hear about the new photography exhibition coming to Enfocos South Bronx Art Tour. Don't go anywhere.